And we are, huh? Good morning. Tuesday, May 26th, 2026. Here in House Transportation, our purpose for the next few minutes here is to look at the Senate proposal amendment to the House proposal amendment to S326 miscellaneous motor vehicle bill. And our alleged counsel is going to walk us through their proposed amendment to our proposed amendment, and we will straw poll it and then update the House as to where we are. So good morning and thank you for joining us on short notice.
Good morning. For the record, I'm Damian Leonard from the Office of Legislative Counsel. So the Senate had two proposed changes in their amendment, and I'm coming into the meeting now so that I can show them to you. The first was they moved to change the hands-free language for CDL drivers. As the Senate was working through this, they noticed that the CDL language provided that you were not in violation of the texting law if you were using your phone in hands-free mode. However, to activate or deactivate the hands-free mode, you would be in violation if the phone was not securely mounted. So in other words, you couldn't carry the phone in your pocket and before the car starts, or turn on with a single touch your hands-free mode, or pull it out to say activate hands-free, or do it through your onboard system if the phone wasn't securely mounted. And so they wanted to ensure that there was clarity so that a truck driver or other CDL driver who carries their phone in a pocket or in a bag in the cab doesn't get in trouble for turning on their hands-free mode through the vehicle or something like that. The other change in there is related to the motorcycle exhausts. So let me just pull up the most recent version here and I'll put it up on the screen and we can go from there. Right. Okay, so it should be up on the screen behind me. I'll just make this a little bit bigger. So this is what I was talking about on the hands-free mode. So they did move the language around a little bit. This is an important change here. So this language, the first page, second page, and then third page through line 8 are identical to what the House passed. They then created the exceptions in a separate subsection here. This also clarifies that this applies to the restrictions on hands-free phone use, so making a phone call in hands-free, and also for drivers of buses who have their own subsection. So a motor carrier can also use hands-free, activate or deactivate hands-free. You still have to have the device securely mounted if you're going to use it as your GPS. Or you can use the onboard system, and it's still okay to use the phone if you've pulled off the highway and stopped the vehicle in a location that is safe to stop. But this is the clarification there. It really is, they deleted the words that is securely mounted in the vehicle, or provided the device is securely mounted in the vehicle. So it's essentially, that is their main clarification there. The other piece was just to clarify that these exceptions apply to all the subsections. The way it was worded before, I believe they would have, but this clarifies it by splitting it out. So you're not asking the question, is it just this group of texting provisions, or is it phone calls, texting, and same for motor carrier drivers? So.
Okay. Deputy Commissioner Matt Russo is out in ether. And if you could, I don't know when you were brought into this language or not, but I want to make sure you had it. I know I sent it over to you, or made sure you have it this morning. If you have a comment on behalf of the Department of Motor Vehicles on these changes, we would like to hear it.
Sure. Matt Russo, Deputy Commissioner for DMV. We have had a chance to review it. I will say, I think we're getting into semantics, but we are okay with the language as proposed.
If your officers were faced with these type of questions or this situation and pulling over the tractor trailer drivers, the commercial drivers, you feel like they would be able to know what they need to do?
Yeah,
Or what
it's hard. It's something that's hard to prove, but yes, it falls into line with the language for regular drivers. So yes.
And for the training that they go through and handle, you're saying that we would be able to implement this.
Yes.
DMV would be okay with this.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you for the short notice and joining. In case there's other questions, now I'd ask you open up the committee for this particular section. Is there questions about this? Is there any concerns? Okay. If nobody's got any, let's move to the other section. Back to Damien, I guess.
All right.
Motorcycle exhaust and whatnot. Unless there's any other place we should go for that concerns, I mean, related to commercial texting. I mean, you got the DMV, you got the.
Yeah, more of a technical plan. I think it's.
Yeah, I apologize. My comment was for the muffler section. We are totally fine with the language for the texting and driving.
Okay.
I jumped
okay.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Now the texting portion.
Yeah, no issues with that at all.
No issues at all in the texting portion. You're good with the clarification.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So the mufflers, there are a couple of key changes here. So the first subsection A, is unchanged from the House. Subsection B has added the language here, a new number 4, that a motorcycle shall be in violation if it is not equipped with a muffler that meets the requirements of 40 CFR 205.169. That's the federal labeling law. And then in subsection C, they have provided an exception so that if the orientation or location of the muffler prevents an inspection mechanic from reasonably determining if the muffler has a label certifying compliance with the federal labeling law, the inspection mechanic shall presume that the muffler meets the federal labeling requirements. And then, so they've gone back to the labeling requirement here with an allowance if there is heat shielding or the construction of the motorcycle is otherwise that it would tuck the muffler in so you couldn't actually see all the way around it to tell without taking it off to tell if it's labeled or not. So I will, those are the two changes.
Just to clarify then, I guess, Deputy Commissioner, your comments from earlier, this is the part you think is sort of semantics.
It is. Yeah, I feel like we're splitting hairs. But the way the language is written, I would assume that it would leave some ambiguity, which we're trying to steer clear of. But the way it's written, we will be okay with.
Okay. Representative Pouch,
Yeah.
for the committee, anybody else who's got questions? And Representative Pouch is up first.
I think, we did have testimony from Wilkinson,
Wilkins.
and he never said he was against, having approved mufflers, but he did say there are times where you can't see it, because things obstruct it and all of that, and, I would just say this says, okay, that's recognized that, you look and it's not there and it's probably looks like it's hidden and we don't have to disassemble it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
So whether you like it or not, I think it addressed that one issue there from the deal.
Does anybody else have a comment on this, otherwise we'll. Yep.
It sounds kind of foolish to me. I mean, it's like, I think the main thing would be making sure that it has, baffles on the inside. I don't know what a sticker makes something quieter or not. It just sounds like somebody's nitpicking a little bit, just kind of. Doesn't make sense to me, to be honest with you. So.
I hear you. Anybody else have a comment? I would say that the baffles thing is mentioned in number 1. This is number 4.
Yeah, it's otherwise kept the house language, but they tucked in number 4 and then they added that exception if you can't reasonably see the label.
So you're 4 there, if you want.
Who's gonna check to see if, so is a police officer gonna pull somebody over?
The enforcement is essentially through inspection. Theoretically, if an officer had pulled you over for a loud exhaust, they could look at the exhaust, and if they can make a determination on the side of the road that it doesn't meet these requirements, they could issue a ticket for an equipment violation. I can't speak to how likely that is. Yeah, if they could see around the entirety of the exhaust and see that there is not a label, they could issue an equipment violation if they had pulled you over for that reason.
I think it's foolish, but that's that.
There was another hand over here before you were going to say this. Did you? Either it was Molly, did you? Representative Burke, did you have a
I
comment?
was, no, I think my question was answered.
Okay.
I
Representative
didn't know if you wanted to talk about, whether, I mean, we could make a change, but whether there's actually time, what the options
Well,
are here.
I think the option at this point is either we concur or we have to ask for a committee conference.
No, we can
Oh, we
go
can
back
do
with
one
a
more
further
proposal.
proposal. But I just think personally, this timing isn't ideal. I think they tried to come up with a compromise. I think anything else without concurring is jeopardizing the whole underlying bill inspections and everything else. I'm probably not comfortable with killing that work that we've done, so. If you want a motion, I move that we approve the changes by this.
So I would get up and say that we accept the Senate proposal for further amendment of our House proposal, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I guess I would look for a vote, those in favor of approving this version of the bill.
For the motorcycles?
The whole bill is, their amendment, their changes. So it's one, which is basically the motorcycle and the hands-free. We're gonna accept their changes and this latest motor vehicle bill will go through. Representative Burke, are you, yes?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3. 7, 1, 3. Thank you very much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Commissioner, thank you for joining us.